Now, Maulik, I would urge you to take some time and make me understand, make the viewers understand about what is the road ahead for Deepak Nitrite, the consolidated entity over the course of the next 2 years. Because I mean, we haven't spoken for a while, but there have been some capex plans announced. There's been a formation of Deepak Clean Tech. You got land at multiple places that you've taken. You had filed environmental clearance petitions for a fairly large capex plan, and you had also announced that you might need to do some fundraising, presumably from my perspective, in order to fund some of these capex plans, which hasn't happened thus as yet. So now take your time and tell us from where you are right now, what is the capex plan, where does it come up, and what kind of chemistry or downstream products do each of these individual capex plans add up to? If you have the time, we have the time.
Okay, let me put it this way. I won't touch upon the fundraise part because that is a strategic question, and that is not the only alternative that we have to raise and deploy funds. But with regards to the growth plans and the capex plans, we've already announced 1,500 crores or so that will go up. This is what we have announced, and this is what we have announced, whether it is for downstreams of phenol or upstream and downstream integrations with Deepak Nitrite as a standalone. Over and above this, we are also working on developing the basic engineering packages for 3 products, which will be in about the 20 to 22, 23% EBITDA range, largely pharma application and downstreams of our existing products. And these will be significant value additions. But I'm not talking about something to the order of magnitude of phenol. It is mostly going to be closer to like, the 5 to 7, 800 crore in terms of top line. It'll be over a period of time. Over and above this, finally, so this is where I have not mentioned anything about the capital investment. As normal, when you go through an engineering package development, you know the basic work, but you have not yet ascribed to it what the kind of capital cost will be, not even with, I can't give you something which is going to have a plus minus 50%, right? So this is something which is still in the offing, and I look forward to announcing more details soon. Finally, we've also announced a stake and an investment in Oman. And this is going to be for products, some of which are, for example, sodium nitrite, where energy, especially gas, is used both as a utility as well as a raw material. And this is going to allow us to leverage clean energy, low cost, and allow us to target markets where we have a very, very deep understanding, especially consumers in the US, where Oman has a free trade agreement, and other locations also. So we will be manufacturing it at a very competitive cost in a strategic location where the cost of raw materials and the ease of availability is pipeline based, and a market where we are deeply familiar, where our competition, especially when it comes from Europe, is going to continue to be affected by high cost of gas and ammonia. So these will be a really strong value addition, both in terms of top line and bottom line, where Deepak will have at least a 51% stake. And these will then, over a period of time, become integrated sites, which will have other products that will be manufactured for export as well. Okay. So these are 3 major growth pillars that I can already tell you about.
Okay. Is Deepak Clean Tech something that is beyond these that you've spoken to me about?
No. Deepak Chemtech is the first of these 3, where I mentioned the 1,500 crores of investment. By the way, this number will increase as we have cleared a few more projects that will be added there, but they will actually be in processes where we have a deep level of familiarity as well. So there will be more color announced maybe towards the end of this quarter, early next quarter.
Pardon me, I thought it was clean tech. Clearly, it is chem tech that you spoke about. Okay. And Maulik, just a small clarification. All through the last few years, there has been an understanding on my part, at least, that there is some bit of phenol downstream products that you're going to get introduced. Now, is this a part of Deepak Chemtech again, or is this something else?
So this is, there will be a lot of it which is in Deepak Chemtech. Chemtech is essentially going to be using some feedstocks from Deepak Nitrite and using processes that are familiar to Deepak Phenolics or vice versa, when they're
Okay.
using feedstock from Deepak Phenolics and using process competency in nitrite, hence in a in a location which is using the competencies of both. So MIBK and MIBC, for example, which are the projects that we have announced, are downstreams of phenol and acetone, which will be housed in Deepak Chemtech.
Got it.
There will
Okay.
be others announced as well.
Okay. Two more questions on this so that I get the understanding clear and we complete the circle. Um, uh, so you were saying that there is a 1,500 crore plus minus a few as you mentioned on the Chemtech side. There is you can't quite mention right now for obvious reasons the quantum of money deployed in the pharma applications, the 2 or 3 that you spoke about, which will be the 20 to 23% EBITDA margin. But that's the second piece. And then there is a piece in Oman, again, for which the
Yes.
numbers of investments are not clear as yet.
They are somewhat clear, but I think
You,
once we've tied up everything, so we do have them and they're clear. Uh,
yeah, but you
I
don't
would,
want to mention that.
maybe just, yeah. So I don't think we need to wait for a quarter to give more color on that, but certainly I won't give them today. I'll give them soon enough. The pharma intermediates, I'll just clarify, the anchor customers will be pharma, but they will not be the only customers, and there are other applications. The high value, high volume customers will be pharma, and they may or may not be housed in Chemtech. If they're housed either in Chemtech or they're housed in the standalone entity.
I get your point. Okay. Now, Maulik, these are large capex plans. Assuming that you are tied up for the funding, that's fine. But the numbers could be very large relative to relative to the even larger size that you currently have for the consolidated Deepak Nitrite entity, right? So if you don't do an equity fundraise, then that would be a fairly large quantum of debt that you are raising, and it kind of is similar to the bet that you guys took when you set up Phenolics, so to say.
I think it'll be manageable. Nonetheless, we will look at the fundraise depending on the value that we're able to get, but we are very, very comfortably able to raise a good amount of debt without feeling uncomfortable about the leverage.
Okay. And
We're
last
a
question on the
conservative company, we'll remain that way.
Of course. And the last question on the capex side, Maulik, what are the timelines for this? Because these are fairly ambitious plans. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so some of the capexes have already been commissioned in October, and one will get commissioned in. There will be more commissioning that takes place in H1 next year, significantly more in H2 next year. And then subsequently, I think every quarter there will be certain projects that are commissioned, some of which have not yet been announced, but they will be over the next ensuing quarter or two.
Okay. So I would reckon that by end FY25 or a bunch of things that you've spoken about today would actually get commissioned as well. Likely.
Yes.